Supergirl is now in theaters, marking the next DCU outing following James Gunn's Superman. The cast is decent, the visuals are good, the action work. There are pieces here that could have made for a much bigger, more epic movie. But once again, the DCU has a problem. Supergirl is not as bad as some of the reviews have made it out to be. It is not Madam Web, it is not the Marvels. I would not call it a complete disaster, but it is another Hollywood misfire. And the biggest reason is the script and James Gunn. I warn you, my video is full of spoiler. So if you not watch, you skip the video. So continue. Millie Alcock is good as Kara. She has the right edge for this version of Supergirl and she carry the movie well enough. Ridley is also fine as Ruth and the two work together better than the script does. Jason Momoa's Lobo is also great. He steals every scene he is in, even if his actual entrance is oddly underwhelming. He just sort of appear in a bar sequence after Supergirl beat up a bunch of dudes and apparently he was there the whole time. For a character like Lobo, that should have hit a lot harder. David Consweat's Superman is barely in the movie, but I liked his small role. Consweat continued to come off as a good actor and a solid Superman. The movie also set things up so Supergirl can be involved in Man of Tomorrow, and that part does have me interested. The acting really is not the main issue here. The main character problem is Matthias Schoenaerts crime, and that is not really Schoenaerts' fault. It is what he was given to work with. Crime is bland, forgettable and meaningless. He feels like a generic space pirate, basically the Ravagers straight out of Guardian of the Galaxy, only without the personality. Villains make these movies. James Gunn knows that. He has even talked about Marvel making that mistake with his first Guardians of the Galaxy, so there is no excuse for Supergirl having a villain this flat. The biggest problem with Supergirl is the script. The movie does not feel like it has a real three-act structure. It does not build in a satisfying way. It feels like the same story repeating every 20 to 30 minutes. Supergirl gets depowered. She chases the enemy, she fights the enemy, she gets powered up, then she gets depowered again. Since repeat. Sometimes it is a red sun, sometimes it is a green sun, sometimes it is a poison drink. Wait, is not she Kryptonian and under a yellow sun? Then somehow it is a even kryptonite. There are supposed to be only two Kryptonians left in the universe, yet Krem just happens to have Kryptonite arrows sitting around. Why? Has he been saving them? Did he know Supergirl was coming? Did he know Kryptonians were out there? The movie never make that feel convincing. Nobody really react like Kara being Kryptonian is some shocking thing either. No one seems stunned by Supergirl being Supergirl. The story just want the kryptonite arrows to exist. The same goes for Crypto getting poisoned. Supergirl has 3 days to get the antidote from Krem, but the obvious question is why not take Crypto to a yellow sun? The movie explained that away by saying moving him will make the poison spread faster. Fine, but it feel like the script plugging a hole, not the story naturally making sense. The frustrating part is the first 20 to 30 minutes are actually pretty good. The setup works. This is a real story there. Supergirl could have been a epic vengeance movie with a bigger emotional punch and a stronger fantasy sci-fi feel. But Once they decide to go to the planet where Cram is hiding, the whole movie starts to fall apart. The locations start feeling the same, the scenes start feeling the same, the beat start feeling the same. Of getting bigger, the movie starts spinning in circles. The visual are good, the visual effect are good, the fight scene are good. There are no big complaint there. The music is just okay. I would have liked it to sound more epic. The score feels too generic, which is also the biggest complaint about the movie itself. It needed more weight, more scale, more seriousness. Instead, it gets undercut by the same James Gunn style goofiness that Hollywood has beaten into the ground. The goofy aliens, the goofy costume, the goofy spacesuit, Millie Alcock tinfoil looking spacesuit just look dumb. Ruthie's blow up suit is just as stupid as Nathan Fillion's suit in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It all take what could have been something bigger and make it feel smaller. The moral of the movie is also a mess. Ruthie comes from a warrior family. Her father make legendary sword and weapon. Her mother tried to fight her brother is part of that world too. This is a family built around warrior weapon and combat. But the movie's big message is that revenge is bad. Killing Cram will destroy Ruthie spirit and she need to rise above it. Meanwhile, people are dying all over the place. Supergirl tells Ruthie not to kill Cram, but the end of the movie, she tells Ruthie to keep making sword and weapon like her father, weapon that are obviously going to be used to kill people. How does that add up? The movie want the emotional weight of a vengeance story, but it also want to wag its finger at revenge. It want Roti family legacy to matter, but it also want the audience to treat the act of killing crime as some line that cannot be crossed. It does not work. Then there is the usual divisive material. What should have been a epic vengeance movie turned into a eye-rolling anti-male campaign where the men are to blame and the women carry the trauma. The rumors about crime and his pirates trafficking girl turned out to be right. Supergirl and Ruthie have a conversation about why she is called Supergirl and not Superwoman. Cram is a white dude. He killed a Asian family. He killed a black family. The message is not subtle. It feels like the same kind of divisive material that has shown up in Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, and even Superman. It also sure feels like Gunn took a pass on the script and injected more of it. And yes, the movie also doubles down on the Jor-El problem from Superman. Supergirl's dad make a remark about Jor-El sending Superman to conquer Earth. Then he basically tells Supergirl what Jor-El is traditionally supposed to tell Superman about being a hero and doing good. So now Supergirl get the better Superman message than Superman does. She is the real Superman. Eye roll. It come off like another FU to fans from Gunn who did not like the Jor-El change the first time. Instead of walking it back, Gunn double down. We dive more into it here. The movie starting with Crypto pissing all over Superman say it all. What it says is that James Gunn should have never been allowed anywhere near Superman. Crypto is also starting to feel played out. Yes, the dog is cute. Yes, audience like cute animal sidekicks, but Hollywood has been leaning on this trick for years. Baby Groot, Baby Grogu, cute dogs, cute mascot characters. It is all starting to feel the same. Supergirl needed to feel like something new. State Crypto become another example of the movie leaning into familiar market tested cuteness when it should have been pushing toward something more epic. Supergirl is not terrible. Millie Alcock is good. Eve Ridley is fine. Jason Momoa's Lobo is great. David Consworth continue to work as Superman. The visuals are strong, the action scenes are good, and there is enough here to keep the movie from completely falling apart. But the story and the script are not there. The villain is bland. The movie repeat the same beat over and over. The plot holes fill up. The moral of the revenge story does not make sense. The goofy costume alien undercut the bigger fantasy sci-fi feel. The divisive material is back. The whole thing feels too generic when it should have felt epic. Supergirl could have been something special. Instead, it gets weighed down by a script and direction that do not add up. It is not a bad as I thought it would be, and it is not as bad as some critics have made it sound, but that is not exactly a glowing endorsement. My rating is 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching.